1015 FM, 720 AM. KDWN, the talk of Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. 1 full hour of wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's bring on the tag team of Andrew Fish Fain, Joe DeFalco, and your host, Mark Hoke.
Hey! Chris Cross will make you jump.
Oh, good Lord.
Yes, I did that. Actually,
Jump around.
Yeah,
Jump around.
Wow. Okay. Way to go along with it. I appreciate it.
Hey, you lay out the path. I'm going to walk across
Hey,
it.
you know what? I always say this. If you open a door, somebody's going to walk in.
Tick-tock.
Tick-tock, baby. Tick-tock. Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDWN 1015 FM, 720 AM, the talk of Las Vegas. We are the #1 professional wrestling show in Vegas and just doing pretty well overall in terms of a radio show.
Are our ratings up as high as Raw's?
I don't know about that.
They should be.
I'd have to see I forgot what the overall number was.
Because we're under new creative control as well.
Now, we didn't we didn't get 2.2 million people listening to the show.
That we know of.
That we know of. It could be. They don't all have the little
We're
Nielsen
big in
clickers.
Malta.
Yep, we're big everywhere.
The Maldives. Sorry, not Malta, but the Maldives.
Yes. Yeah, we got to get somebody in Malta. Let's make a phone call. But we appreciate you tuning in. Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. I'm Mark Hoke. What color is that? Sea green?
It's yeah, we'll go with C.
Sea green New York Mets.
Daryl Strawberry jersey.
All those words just don't go together. I don't know what it is. Sea green New York Mets Daryl. No,
It was their spring training St. Patrick's Day jersey.
So you just wore it because you got drunk.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, fair enough. And of course, Joe DeFalco on the line from Future Stars of Wrestling here in Las Vegas. Mr. DeFalco, how are you this morning?
Just call me the Scoop Master, that's all.
We called it.
I think we should be, you guys, I didn't say it, so I can't take credit for that one, but I think that you guys should be very proud of yourselves because you absolutely nailed it.
I told you that the calls should be Sasha, Naomi, and Mr. Cross.
Yeah, I said the Fiend should get the call, but it hasn't happened yet.
Not yet, but if there is any doubt that there is a new sheriff in town in World Wrestling Entertainment.
And his name's Richard Hammond. Y'all be cool, you hear? Oh, sorry, that was 48 hours.
Jeez, Ew. Paul Levesque is starting to reshape World Wrestling Entertainment in his visage, his wife's visage, not Pop's. As the Vince McMahon era, I think is. Can we say it's done? Is that a fair statement, guys? Anybody?
I think it is. Vince is always going to be lurking, but he's proven that he's come in and he's going to do what he feels is best for business, and he needs one more call to make, and that's to me, and then once he does that, everything will be in place.
Now, for lack of a better term, how screwed is Theory now that Vince McMahon is no longer there?
I think he's dead in the water. I mean, I won't say dead in the water. He's still was an NXT guy, but he is going to get put down the rungs of the ladder a little bit.
I mean, are they going to treat him like Otis and take away his money in the bank?
I don't know. That's an interesting question, but I guess we ought to kind of lay the foundation a little bit of exactly what we're talking about with Triple H taking over this whole thing. Of course, Vince McMahon retired a couple weeks ago, out of the company due to scandal with all these dalliances that he had and payouts and everything else.
The $14 million of missing WWE money.
Yeah, and so his son-in-law, Mr. Triple H, Paul Levesque, has taken over creative and talent relations. Stephanie McMahon, his daughter, is now the CEO of the company, and everybody was waiting to see, well, are they going to change anything? We'll find out. Yeah, they're changing a lot. I mean, we're seeing all of the NXT. Of course, he was running NXT, got thrown out of there. Vince took it over. The Good Old Boys Network was running NXT. They turned it from the Black and Gold brand to the Splacho Paint
Technicolor Puke. I don't know. Yeah.
Don't even know what to call that. And now all of a sudden, a lot of those people that had been either released or pushed aside that had come up from NXT that Triple H developed are now getting put into the forefront. Ciampa, who is Tommaso Ciampa, is now the number one contender for the United States title as he gets 2 big wins, including a win over AJ Styles. We have Karrion.
He may even get a first name.
Yeah, that would be the biggest. Is that what's bigger, getting a title or getting your first name back?
Of course, Vince didn't want anybody using their real names anymore because he was mad about Keith Lee going to NXT or going to AEW and being Keith Lee. So no one was allowed to use their real names anymore. So, like, for example, Austin Theory became Theory. Matt Riddle became Riddle.
Yeah.
And just all the names got chopped out. Well, of course, now we've seen Ciampa get a push. Dakota Kai comes back. Io Sky, who was Io Shirai in NXT, was a longtime women's champion in there, getting a push with Bayley now. And then, of course, this call, which I think caught everybody off guard, even though a few of us here in the studio of brilliance here on KDWN saw it coming, as Karrion Kross and Scarlett show up at the end of SmackDown last week.
The key part, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the key part of that sentence was "and Scarlett."
Yes. Of course, Scarlett, the last time around, because if you didn't know, the last time around when Kross was a longtime NXT champion, was brought up, he was a badass, tough guy, mauling everybody.
Wearing a stupid mask.
And comes up and they put him in a gladiator outfit with a stupid helmet, and he loses to Jeff Hardy in 2 minutes on his first match on Raw, and it killed him. And then he gets released. Well, he's back, and he comes out, clobbers Drew McIntyre, just bouncing his head off the
steps
like a basketball. I mean, that was we talked about that bad NXT match. That's how you do a basketball-y thing. dribble, shoot, boom, and then the hourglass is put down by Scarlett
in the ring
in front of Roman Reigns,
and it was done perfectly. No, they didn't have to say anything.
No, so I think it's pretty clear at this point. And by the way, other thing too is we're hearing that the words, the dirty words that Vince had, like wrestling and wrestler
and strap,
are all going to be okay again. So
somebody used kill.
Yeah. So we have a situation now where things are completely changed in WWE, and a lot of people tuned in. Of course, Raw had kind of been hanging around 1.6, 1.7 viewers. And, there may be a curiosity factor, but they did 2.2 million people for last week's episode. Second on cable, I think it was, they usually run first or second. They lost to a Yankees-Mets game, and Dynamite did well, too. They were fifth overall last week. It was the Yankees-Mets game, Raw, Formula One, 90 Day Fiance, and then AEW Dynamite. Welcome to America, baby. But guys, this is, I think, a very exciting time to be a wrestling fan. And Fish, let me start with you. Just your overall impressions of, seeing all these changes at WWE. Where is this going to take pro wrestling and world wrestling entertainment?
The shackles are off, and it's very reminiscent of the mid-'90s with WCW now versus WWE, because back then Vince didn't have the same kind of controlling shackles that he had. He didn't completely put down his own product, you know what I'm saying? Hold down his own product. And now I think that there's a freedom there. I think some people are going to suffer because there are some certain people like Omos that got pushed by Vince McMahon that aren't going to get a push anymore, and that's a better thing for WWE. I think that you're going to see them push people who are worthy of a push, who can hold the main event or upper levels, and people who aren't worthy are not going to be seen.
Joe, what are your thoughts about all this exciting direction that WWE is taking?
Well, besides looking forward to the new Universal Champion, Happy Corbin, obviously, Triple H kind of showed what his vision was by doing the NXT and kind of got universally praised for that. So now he's got the main roster. So, little by little, he's going to change out things. And, he's not blind. There's certain things he knows that he had to get past Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon with. And now, it's not going to be shut down. He's going to do what he wants. They always talk about how the writers, Vince McMahon loves his poopy humor, and, you always got to throw in stuff and try to keep Vince happy. But, now you don't have that anymore. And then they've also talked about giving, the freedom in promos to a lot of the talent, and that is necessary. Maybe there's certain guys that might be able to speak, but the way they're given their scripts and things like that, they come across as, they're not good on the microphone, and maybe they really are. So, and I think with everything he's doing, it also makes the workplace environment a little more fun to come to work, instead of, when Kross has to come to work and they, hey, we got this great idea, we got this gladiator helmet that you're going to wear. And you're kind of like, what are you talking about? Oh, no, it's going to be great. And, you either have to accept it or be like Keith Lee did and, trying to be JYD light with the Bearcat gimmick. And, now there's complaints, and now you're considered a poor employee because we're giving you an opportunity. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't like the idea? Oh, who cares what you like? We're paying you. Do what we say. So now I think people feel like they might actually get a fair shake.
Yeah, and I'll say one thing, especially on the promos. WWE just had those so scripted, like a soap opera, and now, one of the things that always made wrestling great, and one of the things that has really made AEW, All Elite Wrestling, stand out, is that they give their performers the freedom to be themselves and sink or swim. And we've seen some of them sink and some of them swim. And now you kind of get the feeling that Triple H is going to take it back to that philosophy where everybody's going to get to be themselves a little bit more. And you're always more natural. I mean, if we came into the studio and had everything scripted of what we were going to say, we would sound like a bunch of automatons. It would be terrible.
Yeah.
So we get the chance to be we be ourselves, no matter if good, bad, or indifferent. And with giving these people a chance to do that, it creates a more authentic experience. If I'm cutting a promo saying, I'm going to get you, Roman Reigns, I think that you are a very bad person, instead of me saying, you know what, Roman Reigns, I'm sick of you running around with these two belts. I'm coming for you. I'm taking those titles off your waist. We're going to take the bloodline, and you just go and be you. Be you. And I feel so happy for the performers in WWE that they're going to finally get the chance to do that.
And I think the other thing, and this is one of our biggest complaints, it always seemed that the writers had no direction. They would write a match or write a storyline that they didn't know where they were going to go with it. I think now they have it plotted out a little more. Like when they had a certain person, whoever it was, whether it was Otis back in the day winning in the briefcase, what the hell are we going to do with him now? He's got the case. Now I think they have it plotted out. Okay, he's going to win this, and this is going to happen, and they have a direction with which they want to go with the story, which I think is going to make it much better. I think AEW is a little nervous now because I think they actually have some competition from WWE. I think before they were like, no one wants to work there. I mean, they want to work there because it's the WWE and they're getting a lot of money, but we can offer something that they can't, and that's the better work environment. I don't think they can offer that anymore. I don't think that they have that WWE doesn't anymore.
Yeah, Joe, do you feel that same way?
I think Tony Khan's ego doesn't make him feel that. I think he thinks that he's the be-all, end-all. He is the longest-reigning CEO in professional wrestling.
Oh, good Lord.
So, and I'm just curious. So, what do the powers be in WWE think about MJF, for example? Like, are they as high on him? Is Triple H as high on him? Because now he's going to be the one making that final decision. Or does he feel that in-house that he has, everything he needs? And, moving forward, it was like, me and my kid, we were sitting around like, hey, who's available? Who are the guys that haven't re-signed that are Triple H guys? And, I forgot about, say, Bray Wyatt, but it was like, hey, Braun Strowman, that make him an opportunity to come back. Road Dogg, that's his boy. Dexter Lumis. There's not a lot of guys that were that Triple H regime that all signed. Johnny Gargano, all these guys loved
that was
Triple
the name.
H.
That was the name I was thinking was Gargano.
Yeah, and Dexter Lumis's name has come up too, and that one befuddled me. I could not understand why they let him go. It just didn't make any sense to me. And and you're also hearing things like Kevin Owens is being held back right now. They're putting plans together for him. And you start going down the list of names of
really quick. I'm not to interrupt you, but because the two names that are coming to my mind really quickly are Sasha and Naomi. And we've heard all sorts of rumors. Do we know what's true and what's fiction yet?
I haven't heard confirmation they're back, but I think they're going to be back.
Okay.
The women's tag team titles are coming back.
The fact is, Naomi takes the 6-foot rule when it comes to pictures that people paid $100 for yesterday.
Yeah, they were. That was funny. They were actually did a public appearance and they were doing a 6-foot rule with them. I don't know. Maybe just making sure they don't get COVID before they come back to WWE.
Maybe.
Yeah, but
Bo Dallas better be coming back. Put that belt on him.
But
believe it, baby, believe.
Put him in with Eva Marie, and we're good to go.
You think of God, you two.
Right after we get Dominic's heel turn.
If they ever have a mixed tag team championship, just make it Eva Marie and Dominic Mysterio. We're going to call it the
Evil Dominic.
We're gonna call it the Joe and Fish team. By the way, this is Mark Hoke on the Mark Hoke Show on KDWN 101.5 FM, 720 AM, along with Andrew Fish Fain. You can follow him on Twitter at TheFish1969 and Joe DeFalco from Future Stars of Wrestling. You can follow them at FSW Vegas on Twitter as well. So there you go.
I'm just curious now. Are they going to drop this whole 3-year Dominic Mysterio finally going to turn heel? Or are they going to finally pull the trigger? That's what I'm pretty much intrigued with.
I honestly think it depends on what they do with Judgment Day. If they decide to destroy Judgment Day, I don't think it happens. If they keep Judgment Day going, I think Dominic joins Judgment Day, and that's when he turns heel.
Yeah, we'll see. Wouldn't surprise me. But, who knows? But, another name that has come up this week in WWE is Shayna Baszler, who, of course, was another NXT superstar.
Who is dominant,
long-time champ, was killing it, came up to the main roster, was put in the Elimination Chamber matches, which is where they put 6 people inside the cage and they have the pods and everything and let them go one by one. And she, when the first time in that match, mauled everybody. It wasn't even funny. She might as well have just been a lawnmower and just turned everybody into clippings. And then all of a sudden...
They made her a comedy tag team with Nia Jax, basically.
Vince killed it. For some reason, didn't like her. And you almost wonder if Kevin Dunn had something to do with that. Because, we heard all the stories about Kevin Dunn saying, Becky Lynch isn't attractive enough to be a women's champion. And AJ Lee, she's not sexy enough to be the women's champion. And, and I just thought of that. I almost wonder if that was the same thing that Kevin Dunn said to Vince. She's not attractive enough. She's an unbelievable wrestler, former MMA artist, friends with Ronda Rousey. Had the rocket strapped to her, and then just all of a sudden it went poof. And I wonder if Dunn killed her too.
It wouldn't surprise me because it makes perfect sense. And I'm not telling tales out of school here, but she's not the most attractive, but it doesn't matter. She's freaking brilliant.
She's terrific in the ring.
Absolutely, and that's what you need.
The matches that she had with Rhea Ripley down in NXT, wow.
I mean, Andre the Giant wasn't exactly, Adonis.
Yeah.
Hell, Adrian Adonis wasn't Adonis.
Adrian put all the weight at the end. Just a little.
Just a little, he says.
I'm going Adrian Adonis mode. I think I need to turn that around. But you're seeing the influence of Triple H and all the people that he developed. And, boy, I just wonder if he's sitting around saying, yeah, Vince, you took everybody and threw my guys in the garbage can. Well, guess what? These are the people that you want to see. I can say this honestly, that I loved watching NXT back then. I really did. The NXT takeovers, you'd have a week where you'd have a WWE premium live event, and I didn't worry about it. I wanted to see takeover.
The takeovers were the best shows by far.
So, maybe Vince didn't see them as sports entertainers, but they are damn good wrestlers. And I think we're going to get a dose of that here real soon. It's pretty exciting.
It is. I just think there is going to be some people, like I said, and almost is the first name that came to mind, that you're not going to see anymore.
Yeah, Theory's in trouble. I'm just kind of looking down the list.
I don't think Theory's in trouble. I think Triple H was one of the first guys that really was part of the reason why he went to NXT. He was totally involved in Theory getting signed. Now, whether he feels that now is the right time for him, that's a different story. But, I think Theory is a guy who's definitely going to be continued to be focused on. But, we'll see. Obviously, Kross is in the main event. Like, you want to make a splash. They made a splash. It's like they put this guy, at the top of the mountain immediately. It's like they had the entrance video. They had Scarlett. And, hopefully they're going to, because we know, hopefully they're going to give him the microphone, and he can. That was his main trait that got him signed everywhere. And it was like, even with NXT, they made him a monster, but they made her do the talking. So it'll be interesting to see if they unleash Kross to the world, because he is tremendous on the microphone. So,
but just the fact that they brought Scarlett back, to me, bodes well for Kross.
Oh, no, absolutely. Whether they brought her back or not, they brought him in to destroy Drew McIntyre. I think that, shows the pecking order that he's just jumped over pretty much 98% of the roster in one moment. And that's how it is. You want to make a star, you can only make one first impression. And he comes back, and now people are looking at him as, oh, crap, he just laid out Drew and put the thing out to Roman Reigns. And it's like, who would have thought a month ago, like, yeah, they're going to bring back Kross. Everybody was like, yeah, they'll bring back Kross, but nobody thought, holy cow, immediately he's, maybe cost us Drew at a Clash in the Castle or whatever. And then you see rumors already about Raw wanting back their own champion. So there's a lot of rumors going around, whether it's Drew or even Kross, that they're going to become new champions.
Yeah, we got about 2 minutes to break. One other thing, and then we kind of wrap this up, is you now have the situation with Gunther as Intercontinental Champion is going to be facing Shinsuke Nakamura, another Triple H guy, in what should be some really hard-hitting matches if they get in a series. You got Bobby Lashley as the U.S. champion, and them running a piece about the history of the U.S. title and how prestigious it was. I think we're also going to see a stress on building those titles back up as well, and as opposed to them just being something everybody was passing around. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I think Ciampa has a chance to actually upend Bobby Lashley as U.S. champion.
Those are going to be fun matches. That is good. Lashley and Ciampa and Shinsuke and
Gunther
are going to be hard-hitting, terrific wrestling matches.
Well, don't forget about Ricochet. That's another guy that was a Triple H guy, and for some reason Vince, didn't really care about him. So
and they made him look good on Friday night too with the win over Happy Corbin.
Yep. So.
And then punting the football into the audience.
The landscape has changed. All right, we are going to be headed to break here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDWN 101.5 FM 720 AM. Talk Las Vegas, best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. We thank you for joining us here, KDWN.com, all around the world. We love it. Thank you so much. Guys, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about Ric Flair.
Oh, good.
And a little AEW stuff, too. So stick around. We'll be right back. This is Mark Hoke. Has out-of-control inflation, gas prices, and grocery costs wrecked your wallet? Then check into automated day trading with Trading Made Easy. Trading Made Easy has spent 5 years helping people put cash in their pockets with their simple-to-use day trading software. So if you're ready to leave that 9-to-5 job behind, visit TradingMadEasy.com or call 800-971-4160 to sign up for a free live training seminar right now. That's TradingMadEasy.com. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show. Like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join the Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
1015 FM, 720 AM, KDWN, the talk of Las Vegas.
Now, let's return to the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, and we are back here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDWN.
Oh, wait, we're back?
Yeah!
Oh, okay.
Hello!
Yay!
Hey, lady! 1015 FM, 720 AM, the talk of Las Vegas. Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. I am the aforementioned one, Mark Hoke, along with Andrew Fish Fain.
That's me.
Who'll be, of course, back on SportsX Radio. Actually, be you and I.
In the fish tank.
Just you
Believe
and
in the process.
Doing some sports together. Monday night.
I promise I won't sing like that.
That's right, because you can't. You can't. So join us at 8 p.m. tomorrow night, Pacific time. We'll be talking some sports with you, of course, Joe DeFalco. And, you know, guys, I would be neglectful if I didn't mention a great new sponsor of the show and an amazing way to get out of that 9-to-5 grind. Look, we all know times are tough. The economy is in the tank. Gas prices are up, grocery prices up. It just sucks out there. So why sit around and not do anything about it? Get into automated day trading. This is awesome. Trading Made Easy has automated day trading software. They train you how to use it. You go to these free webinars, learn about it. They'll take you through it. And all you got to do is turn it on for a few minutes a day, hit the right times of trading, and boom, off you go. And you're putting extra money in your pocket and can even put enough in your pocket that maybe you can quit that job and hang out with the family a little bit more and have a good time. Yeah, so, you know.
Wow.
So all I ask you guys to do, take a couple minutes and head over to tradingmadeasy.com. It's so easy that you don't need two E's in there. Tradingmadeasy.com. Go sign up for a free webinar right now, right? And you can sit down and make a little extra coin. And you can also, of course, give them a call at a certain number. And if I wouldn't have lost my read, I could tell you what that number is. That is funny. I apologize. I'll get that for you in 1 second. But once again, it is tradingmadeasy.com. Of course, James does a show here on KDWN as well. And you can call that number at 800-971-4160. 800-971-4160. Once again, that is 800-971-4160.
What's that number again?
Well, we said it 3 times. That's enough, but we'll do it one more time just for you, Fish, because you're slow. 800-971-4160. That's Trading Made Easy. There you go. Boys, Ric Flair did that last match.
Woo!
Woo.
Yeah.
Oh,
woo.
Dear Lord.
He should have kept his last match being the last match he had prior to that one.
Prior to that.
Yes.
Can we please, Rick, just rewind? Somebody tackle him after WrestleMania with the WrestleMania match with Shawn Michaels and say, don't do it again.
I mean, I don't think he can, but did he destroy his legacy or hurt his legacy at all with that match?
I think we all kind of knew it was
not
coming.
at all. You know, Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, they all came back for that last fight, and everybody said the same thing after the fact. Bottom line, it was the highest grossing independent wrestling show in forever.
Yeah, they made a ton of money, and it was a great card, no question about that. But Rick just, heard rumors he was hurt going into it, but it just was a 27-minute
debacle.
Yeah, it just wasn't that good. And Rick, by the time the match was about 2/3 of the way over, was lying on the mat and couldn't get going again. I
was scared that he was going to die in the ring.
Look, I think that's what a lot of people were worried about. Of course, Rick had a lot of health problems. He had the kidney failure, had the issue, 4 heart surgeries, and had a pacemaker put in. So this is a 73-year-old guy getting into the ring with a pacemaker.
I'm about to say, a 73-year-old guy who's had no surgery shouldn't be getting in the ing.
And Rick, they had a finish at the end.
I think that's what increased the buys.
Wow. Everybody rooting for Ric Flair's demise in the ring.
You watch a hockey fight. You watch Ric Flair. You've seen it on WCW. I didn't see it, but my kid was telling me it was like he did a spot where he feigned having a heart attack where Jay Lethal was checking on him and he poked him in the eye. I find that hilarious.
Yeah, but the match itself was just about unwatchable.
Yeah, the end was just. I mean, Rick was shaking in the ring, and the finish was supposed to be that he was going to put Jeff Jarrett in a figure 4 leg lock and knock him out with brass knucks. He couldn't put the brass knuckles on. He manages to get him in the figure 4 leg lock and then just flopped on the mat. He hit him and then down he went, and they were both laying there. They counted Jarrett out, but they didn't count Rick out, even though he had his shoulders down too. And of course, Rick had the blade. Which, of course, cutting himself open, so he bled, and of course that's iconic with Ric Flair.
He bled like
a
stuck pig.
With the blood in the blonde locks, and it just was not a lot of fun to watch. And I think a lot of people were really, really concerned watching that match, hoping that something wasn't going to happen to him as that match went on. It just wasn't. And of course, Andrade kind of had to hold back because you don't want to overshadow Rick.
Exactly.
And Jarrett did it. Jarrett and Lethal did a good job carrying the match along too. Jarrett, knows, you can say what you want about Jeff Jarrett, but he knows how to present psychology in a ring and keep things going at the right pace. He did a lot of stalling, so Rick would have a chance to recover. The guys did the best they could, but can we please
not do that again?
Not have Luthez did it. Now Rick did it. Can we just say when you're 73?
Yeah, I don't want to see Ricky Steamboat have another match now.
No, I mean, I didn't like when
Boogie Woogie Jimmy Valiant's still wrestling in his 70s. How bad is he? I don't know. I've never really seen it, but I see this guy still being booked places.
He just turned 80, by the way.
Who? Jimmy Valiant?
Jimmy, the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant.
And he's still wrestling?
He pops in every once in a while.
Oh, good
He's
Lord.
Still wrestling. There's another guy, Mike Jackson, who wrestles like GCW and Ring of Honor, and he's another one. He's in his mid-70s, and people seem to say he can still work. So
aren't the Rock and Roll Express near that age too?
Ricky Morton's got to be in his 60s.
Yeah, he's in his 60s. I know that. Yeah, they're wrapping up. They're supposedly doing their going away tour.
They should have went away.
Well, you know what? I tell you what, they just had that bout a couple of years ago where they won the NWA tag team titles. That was kind of fun.
Good against the Young Bucks. It's like, it has been done where these guys in their late 60s and stuff are still able to do one match. Obviously Flair, they talked about it initially, it was going to be a 6-man, so it was going to limit what he did, and they still made it a tag. It would have been unbearable if it was a singles match. But the one thing I did hear was Jeff Jarrett was in great shape and looked tremendous.
Jeff Jarrett actually looked absolutely amazing.
He did. I mean, like I said, give credit to him. He did a fantastic job. He and Jay Lethal both did a great job, and so did Andrade. It was a very unique situation, and they did
the best they could.
To do.
Yeah.
But like I said, I just wish Rick would have stopped at his WrestleMania retire match.
Which was I mean, he was old then. That was an incredible match.
55 when that match happened, and then he did all the stuff in Impact, and yeah.
The match against Michaels was amazing.
Did you see what superstar Billy Graham had to say?
No, I did not hear that.
It was interesting that, what he said, because, after the fact, Ric Flair talked about how after, he had the after party and got drunk, and superstar Billy Graham took offense to it because he was talking about how all these doctors basically saved his life, and he just basically crapped all over him, and he's talking about getting drunk, and the thing is, there's no value for Ric Flair. He wants to do what Ric Flair did when he was 25 years old, and superstar Billy Graham said he lost all respect.
I think he's bitter a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think he's absolutely right too.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Billy Graham is a guy who comes across as extremely bitter. But if you look at the big picture, the pacemaker and everything else, and the way he still conducts himself, that you hear about Ric Flair, that a lot of people say maybe he has a death wish and he wants to be, Randy the Ram.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's like the Wrestler, the movie. If you haven't seen that with Mickey Rourke,
but I think it's more of Ric Flair just craves the spotlight, whatever, and
he can't let it go.
And if dying in the ring gives him the biggest spotlight, then that's what he'll do.
He cannot let go of the Nature Boy. He can't.
He'd either die in the ring or die on Space Mountain. One of the two.
Yeah, I just.
It's a shame.
I can't. I just don't want to see this.
Yeah,
again.
I can't buy into it anymore.
It's time, and I think the family after this, and because just seeing what Rick has done and how he's behaved over the years, he's probably thinking, you know what, I want to do more. I want to do more, and even though this was supposedly his last match, you got to wonder.
And you got to believe in his head, he's like, I've earned it. I've earned the right to do whatever I want in this industry at this point. And to a certain extent, he's right. He has earned the respect for what he's done for wrestling. He has. But it needs to stop at some point.
It's his life. It's his life. I can't wait to see Hogan and Flair one last time. So.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is what it is. I hate that phrase. I don't know why I said it, but yeah. So Ric Flair supposedly rides off in the sunset. Conrad Thompson, son-in-law, made a lot of money. Good for him.
Yeah, they said $450,000 live gate. They did over 20,000 pay-per-views. Boy, Impact must be cringing. They got to produce the show and saw what it was like for people to actually buy an event.
And it was packed down there in Nashville, and they had a great weekend. StarCast was a great weekend.
Yeah,
all the seminars and everything.
SummerSlam was right there too.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a great wrestling weekend.
DCW got a rub there. They got involved. It was good business for everybody, who was involved in it, other than Ric Flair.
There's one other thing that I wanted to ask you guys about as we wrap up the discussion on that. If you looked at that card, there was literally somebody from every wrestling organization, major wrestling organization in the world. You had New Japan guys, you had MLW guys, you had Impact,
Lucha Libre,
AEW. Everybody was there.
FSW was represented.
Mm-hmm. They were all there. Does this inspire anybody to start making a couple phone calls and say, my God, what would happen if we did a 2-day weekend or even a 3-day weekend supercard, and just for one time we managed to put the egos aside and just put on some great wrestling matches, some dream matches for one weekend only every year, and see what happens.
Sort of like a WrestleMania.
Yeah, but taking it to another level.
No, I get what you say. I think the idea is brilliant. I don't know if they'll be able to put the egos aside to allow it to happen. I think you'd have too many people fighting, saying my guy has to go over. No, we'll do it, but my guy has to go over.
We saw it just with AEW and New Japan. It's like the bottom line is, if you take Ric Flair's match out of there, they don't get 2,400 buys. Everything was, it was almost like the old days in boxing. Nobody ever cared about the undercard. UFC is the one pay-per-view where that's what their sell was. You're going to see all these exciting fights. In boxing, it was always the one match. It was, Duran and Hagler. It was Sugar Ray Leonard and
Tommy Hearns. Yeah.
And it was the one match sell, and whatever on there, if you got lucky and saw something good, great. But in this situation, it makes it extremely difficult because, we saw the turmoil of who's going over in AEW versus New Japan. It's like Jacob Fatu wrestled for the Impact Championship. Well, he's an MLW guy. You know he wasn't going to lose. And then they did a protected finish where it was a schmoz, and they didn't have their guy lose. So it ends up being a bunch of schmozes, And unfortunately, FSW has no problem putting people over. Hammerstone was actually supposed to be at the event too, but his flight got canceled. And, Sin Bodhi, got to be one of the producers of the show. So it was a lot of good work. And, talking with the people I know, whatever your rate was, you probably could have tripled it, and that's what you were making on that show. So it was definitely great business, and it was a great gig for everybody who got involved.
Yeah, I would be fascinated to see if a phone call gets made.
Well,
I really would.
I think Joe made a huge point there, and I think he's right. Unfortunately or unfortunately, that without the Ric Flair match, that card doesn't do a quarter of the business that it did. So the idea itself doesn't work because it only sold that because of the novelty of Ric Flair's match.
Well, what if you did? No, I'm just thinking of dream matches you could have right now to crossover organizations that would just be unreal.
Well, WWE would have to be the one involved, though. If WWE was involved, 1,000%.
And that's what I'm getting at is now with the new regime in WWE, would there possibly be a willingness? I mean, it's you're pulling other people up, and you don't sometimes like to do that, but at the same time, money's money. And a super card involving WWE, AEW, New Japan, and so on. Good Lord, could you imagine what you could
but would
possibly...
WWE make more money doing that show or just taking another gig in Saudi Arabia?
That's the question.
Yeah, because would WWE allow John Moxley to go over Roman Reigns? Probably not.
And that's things you'd have to work out. I'm just saying that there's a possibility there that somebody can make a ton of money if you do it right. Just saying.
Well, WWE makes a ton of money. The thing is, if somebody did 50,000 pay-per-views, every company in the world would be through the roof. If WWE did 150,000 pay-per-views, they would be kind of like, oh, that was a failure.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm a bring people together kind of guy here on the Mark Hoke Show. That's what we do. Fish is like, yeah, whatever.
They did technically have a WWE guy on the show. Karrion Kross beat Davey Boy Smith.
Well, and Jarrett.
And
Jeff Jarrett is in WWE as the live events coordinator.
None of that. He was the special guest referee the day before in the Usos match.
Right. And, of course, this is the Mark Hoke Show on KDWN, 101.5 FM, 720 AM. I am Mark Hoke, along with that harmless, lovable little fuzzball over there, Andrew Fish Fain.
That's me.
And Joe DeFalco, not so harmless, but, of course, in charge of future
still
stars
lovable,
of wrestling.
Still lovable.
Yeah.
New women's champion crowned yesterday.
That's right. Joe just had a card last night and got a new women's champ. So, congratulations.
Quick little Cross story. We had booked Karrion Kross, Kevin Cross, for our next Mecca event, which was going to be October 22nd. So Wednesday, the rumors started flowing, and I texted him, and I'm like, hey, bro, you going to be still working in October? Or you going to be busy? He goes, I'll let you know Friday. And then after SmackDown ended, I said, I guess I got my answer. So,
well, good for him.
He said it was a very, very crazy 24 hours that led up to it. So from what I understand, that deal didn't come to fruition until Friday.
Wow.
And that's one of the things WWE usually does a pretty good job of is hiding people. Like when the Hardys came out at that WrestleMania, nobody knew they were coming out. When AJ
did.
You did, of course. You had inside info, though. When AJ Styles made his appearance at the Royal Rumble, no one knew that AJ Styles was making an appearance at that Royal Rumble to join the company. They've done a pretty good job about hiding people coming in, coming back, or however they're going to do it.
Yeah, so... yeah, pretty exciting stuff there. AEW had a couple interesting things going on this week.
Face turn.
Oh, they're still on the air?
Yeah, boy, did AEW get pushed by the wayside the last couple of weeks. Holy cow. But they're starting to build up to the all-out pay-per-view. Same weekend as the Clash of the Castle. So Labor Day weekend, wrestling fans take those 2 days off. You're going to be a little bit busy between Saturday and Sunday.
It was Saturday morning here on the West Coast for the Clash of the Castle.
Yes. We'll be having breakfast with Breakfast with Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
It should be fun.
I don't know. Is he going to be able to chew?
He did take
But no, he took a beating from Karrion Kross.
He did take a beating. It was pretty brutal. Young Bucks.
Face turn.
The Undisputed Elite is no more, as the Young Bucks have been were turned on by Adam Cole and Red Dragon and Hangman Adam Page.
Bobby Fish was getting brutal there too.
Yeah. Hangman Page comes out and the Hung Bucks are now reunited.
Oh, good Lord.
But obviously that done to set up the AEW Trios Championship without question. Kenny Omega hopefully coming back here soon too. We'll see where that all ends up. But, an interesting turn back for the Bucks. Your thoughts on the Young Bucks being happy boys again?
I thought that was the way they handled it, I thought was done very well. But you kind of knew it was happening the way Adam Cole was speaking.
Right.
And, I think they're doing Adam Cole a disservice, though, because I don't think they're pushing him hard enough. I think he's a lot better than where they have him placed on the card.
Joe, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm hearing that a lot of people aren't real happy with the Young Bucks lately, so at least if they're working with their friends, I had a seat with FTR in them. And, yeah, Adam Cole, everybody was so excited about his moving over there, and he's kind of been one of those lost in the shuffle guys, so maybe this is, the catapult to, get him back. Like Adam Page goes from being the heavyweight champion to being, the third wheel. So, they're seeming to have some inner issues, because I've heard in the past, if you're not in that Young Bucks clique or you're not in the Tony Khan clique, you're in trouble, So it's interesting to see, like, right now, it's like you got Page and the Young Bucks who have been perceived as, monsters in AEW. And in all honesty, Red Dragon and Adam Cole haven't been. So, are they going to put them over to get them jump-started? I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm not that excited about it.
I will say this, though, and I know you guys have kind of frowned on the Trios Championship. They are setting up some interesting little groups for this tournament. I think this could be a lot of fun to watch. I know I enjoyed when Ring of Honor had their 6-man championships. They actually did a pretty good job with those. And I'm wondering what this tournament's going to shape up to be. I think this could be an exciting little run of putting some fun 6-man teams together and giving some guys some different stuff to do on the card.
My problem with it is, to me, it takes away from the tag team championship, having the Trios championship.
Fair enough. I don't know. I think it's a different dynamic, but that's kind of AEW style matches, and you get a little chaos like the Young Bucks matches going on. I mean, it's right up their alley.
Yeah.
So
they definitely need matches when they announce special shows that we're going to be on the next day without any promotion.
Yeah, we just had Battle of the Belts on last night, which nobody won. Nothing really changed in there, but still a decent
card. By the way, we got this big special. It's going to air tomorrow.
Yeah, they didn't promote Battle of the Belts.
That was last night? I didn't even know it was last night.
Yeah. Yeah, it was taped too.
They announced it on basically Thursday they announced it on Friday that they were going to have a special on Saturday.
Yeah, well, they mentioned it before, but seriously putting a lot of time into it.
I did enjoy the Wheeler Yuta Chris Jericho match, and I do look forward to Jericho and Moxley.
Yeah, Jericho, I'm telling you guys, I feel something coming on this. I do. I wonder if Jericho is going to end up winning this match. It's not going to shock me. We'll find out on Wednesday. Les Champions coming back. All right, Andrew Fish, Fain, Joe DeFalco, thank you very much.
Acknowledge us.
You got it. Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, markhokeshow.com, the website, and, of course, all those podcasts you guys download around the world. We appreciate it so much. We really do. All over the place, 6 different continents. It is just amazing to see those numbers come in and where you're all listening to the show. markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. Guys, we will see you next week. Thank you, Las Vegas. We'll catch you next time on KDWN 101.5 FM 720 AM.
It's a schmoz.
No schmoz. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.